Hello and meowdy everyone! Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to react to Dumb Doggo for the very first time. This is his video, what it's like to fight the deadliest beetle, which means exactly what I think it means. I think he's going to teach us how to fight all the beetles of the world. And if you guys didn't know, there's some hella cool beetles out there. So let's dive in, let's have a fantastic time. Quick disclaimer too, I accidentally left some letters on my screen, so if you see the letter CA, that is unintentional, but I don't want to re-record this because then it won't be my genuine first reaction anymore. It doesn't really affect the video because it's a lot of a white background, but please keep that in mind while you're watching. I do apologize. I do end up finding it halfway through the video, but please keep that in mind and take care. Enjoy the video. And hi, hello, welcome in. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's do it.
Hello again, bug-sized man. Have you ever wondered what it's like to fight the deadliest beetles in the world?
You see, I'm not gonna lie, I've never really wondered what it's like, but I'm curious to see what it's like, yeah?
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Challenger 1.
Challenger 1. Oh my god.
Beetles. The Hercules beetle is the longest beetle in the world, growing up to 7 inches thanks to their massive horns.
Hold on. I don't like the fact that we're like making them giants. I understand that's what we have to do to fight them, but now thinking beetles as giant beetles, I'm slightly more terrified, you know?
First, they intimidate their rivals and predators by making a hissing noise. But there's no way that's working on you, right?
Right.
I guess I was wrong. Fleeing is a great choice, though. The Hercules beetle is actually quite slow on land, as its giant horn makes it difficult to move around. But I forgot to mention he can fly.
Of course.
A bit clumsily, though. Now you would think that a magnificent horn like this would do a great job at the old stabby, but
Probably
his
not.
horn is actually made of 2 parts, the cephalic horn and the thoracic horn. They're lined with hair and spines, and when he moves his head up, it creates a secure pinch grip. So it's actually used to grab you, hoist you into the air, and suplex you into submission. The beetle then approaches.
So all you gotta do if you're fighting the rhino beetle is not get suplex. Guys, remember that. Remember that for when the giant beetle comes and attacks.
Ready for a snack after all that hard work. Here you go, boy. You did a great job. Turns out he's not carnivorous. He's just a peaceful beetle who eats fruit and sap, and occasionally beats up other beetles on the side.
Occasionally.
Of course.
Yo, everyone's gotta have a hobby. That's just his hobby.
Hercules beetles aren't the only horned beetles that exist. There's elephant beetles, Japanese rhino beetles, atlas beetles, and many, many more.
Many more.
Into the collection you go.
Oh, nice.
Before we dive in,
I definitely did call him a rhino beetle when he wasn't a rhino beetle. He's the Hercules beetle, but the thingy, the section was called rhino beetle, so I was just reading that. That was my bad.
into the 10 other unique beetles on this list,
10?
let's learn some beetle lore first.
Let's go.
Did you know that the Hercules beetle started off as a slimy grub?
Yep.
A beetle's life cycle has 4 main stages. First, all beetles start off as an egg, which are usually laid near a suitable food source. Second, when the egg hatches, a larva emerges and gets to snacking right away. And not all of them behave the same. The Hercules beetle...
Holy, I know they're big, but just seeing the larvae within a hand, holy.
Larva feeds on rotting wood and
Damn.
leaves, but some other larvae are vicious, carnivorous predators.
Of course they are.
We'll get to them later. The main goal of the larva is to get as fat as possible, to store enough nutrients and energy for the 3rd stage in the cycle, the pupa stage. The fat grubber burrows into the soil to form a pupal chamber, where it breaks down and completely reorganizes its body, developing structures like stronger legs, wings, and a harder exoskeleton.
And then we're
in the
ready.
4th and final stage, the fully formed adult beetle breaks out of its pupal cage, ready to take on the world. Isn't that amazing?
Dame un plátano, pero.
What?
Did you understand that? Well, maybe we can solve it with today's sponsor, Mondly. Mondly is a language learning app that...
What did he just tell us? He told us something bad, didn't he? Are we getting cursed out by a beetle right now?
That gives you access to 41 different languages. And right now they're offering 96% off lifetime access as a part of their spring sale.
Dame un plátano, pero.
Ooh, he seems angry now. But I still don't understand what he's saying. But we can use Mondly's fun daily lessons and weekly quizzes
Let's
to
go.
find out.
Naranja,
Naranja,
melón,
melon,
manzana,
manzana,
plátano.
plátano. That's the word he said. Plátano.
Did he call us a banana or I want a banana? Your Highness? Oh, he must have
Mondly's
wanted a
content focuses
banana.
on practical conversations useful for
I
everyday
see.
life.
¿Cómo estás? Déjame en paz.
And also, do you not have hands?
Okay.
What?
What? What?
Well, Mondly's hands-free mode lets you learn languages anyway.
He just said you don't need those anymore. I'll take your hands.
So you're on the
Oh,
go.
Here's a quiz to go over what we've learned. How do you say tree?
Árbol.
Great.
You nailed
What
it.
about flower?
Flor.
Fantastic performance. Let's keep it going.
So go to monly.app/dumbdoggo to get 96% off lifetime
Oh my
access
God.
to all languages. That's monly.app/dumbdoggo. Thanks to Monly for sponsoring this video.
Nice.
Challenger
Now we're
2.
back into the challengers. What the heck is
Tiger
this?
beetle. This is the tiger beetle, the fastest running insect in the world. It can
Wait.
reach speeds of up to 5.6 miles per hour, which is about 125 times its body length per second.
That's kind of impressive. Running 9 kilometers an hour when you're that size of a beetle, that's hella impressive. Oh.
That's the equivalent of a human running 700 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Basically the speed of a jet. It's also one of the most aggressive beetles, equipped with
Of course
curved,
he is.
serrated blades for mandibles that are quite large relative to their head size. But why all this fancy weaponry, you may ask? Well, it's to dismember you limb from limb, of course. Unlike the Hercules beetle, this
Oh my
guy's carnivorous. Oh,
goodness.
I think he saw.
This guy's gonna get got. Okay, so like, wait. If you giantize this beetle to be in the Coliseum against us, you know, in his little form, he can run 9 kilometers an hour. In his big form, he probably runs like 900 kilometers an hour. So we're SOL. I don't think we win against this beetle.
Are you?
Oh?
Huh?
What?
Well, unfortunately, it looks like you might have a chance of survival. Turns
Why?
out the tiger beetle moves too fast for its own brain. There's not enough time to process
There's
visual inputs,
no
so they
way.
temporarily go blind mid-sprint.
There's
Oh, he's
no
back now.
way. I guess so.
Oh,
all like overpowered animals in some way gotta have the debuff. So I guess his debuff is literally he just makes himself blind.
Then
Crazy.
again, apart from their visual processing
Okay.
speeds, they're terrible with sharp turns. Looks like you've gotten away. Just kidding.
Oh, who's
Say
this?
hello to the tiger beetle larva, and they're just
Ew.
as violent as the adults. Their tactic is to burrow into the ground and wait patiently.
Ah.
And when prey like you stumbles along, they lurch out with
That's a
lightning
s-
speed and
No, that's a smart tactic though. If I was a beetle, I'd want a tactic like this as well.
grab you with their powerful pincers, pulling you inside. The
Yummy.
larva has a hump with curved hooks that allows it to anchor itself to the tunnel. So there's no way for you
Cool.
to struggle out once it's latched on. And all the while, it's using its mandibles to dismember you and eat you alive.
Well, that's not as cool. That's not as cool. That's not as cool. That's not as cool. It's kind of cool that they like have the hooks just to make sure that they're going to stay there.
Challenger 3.
A flamethrower beetle?
Toxic beetles.
Toxic beetles.
Next up, we have the second coolest beetle on this list, the bombardier beetle.
They are
and
cool.
inside its juicy booty is a toxic chemical weapons factory.
What?
There are two
Mhm.
reservoirs inside the beetle's abdomen, one filled with hydroquinone and the other with hydrogen peroxide. When threatened, the beetle squeezes these reservoirs, mixing the chemicals together in a chamber with a bunch of enzymes. The result is a violent exothermic reaction that heats
It's
up to the
hella
boiling
cool,
point of
though.
water and builds up a lot of pressure too. The beetle then releases this as a hot, noxious spray that can severely wound or even kill enemies. But you might be wondering,
I remember learning about this beetle in school and I found him so fascinating. I loved my insect course I had to take in school. It was so fascinating. They're all
why
different.
doesn't this explosive beetle butt chemistry make him go? Well, a one-way valve prevents the pressure from going back into the beetle, ensuring that it can only leave through one exit, the bombardier beetle's butt turret. The The weapon is more like a Gatling gun than a flamethrower, as each spray is made up of a series of many rapid pulses per second. This helps the beetle avoid overheating and damaging itself, and unfortunately for you, it stores enough chemicals to repeat this pulsing spray for up to 20 times in a single
Up to
fight.
20
the
times?
beetle's butt turret also has
crazy.
a 270-degree range of motion, meaning it can protect itself from most angles. And if the boiling temperature wasn't unfair enough, one of the products of the reaction is benzoquinone, which is an irritant with a strong, stinky smell. So now you're in physical pain due to the burns and emotional pain because nobody wants to be around you.
He really said, the beetle really said, here, take this. And, wait, and you can have this one too. Oh my goodness, okay.
Challenger 4.
Challenger 4. We're going to the water.
Diving beetles. The great diving beetle lives in freshwater ponds and lakes, and they've developed a taste for seafood. Oh, come on, man! They can stay underwater for over 30 minutes using a bubble of air they've trapped under their wing covers as a scuba tank. And once it's depleted, they stick their butt out of the water to replenish it. The beetles are quite agile, thanks to their paddle-like hind legs, which are lined with long hairs to generate more thrust underwater. They use this speed to chase down prey like small fish and tadpoles. Then with their strong forelimbs and mandibles, they grab and tear them apart, all while spewing digestive juices.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, you got him. Ew, that's smelly. As a defense mechanism, the beetle secretes foul-smelling chemicals. This can cause larger fish to puke them out, or even paralyze them. You've escaped this time.
Oh.
But you're not safe yet, because diving beetle larvae are even more of a menace.
Wait, what?
These guys are extremely aggressive hunters, capable of overpowering prey much larger than them. Even
it's kind of cool. I like the fact, too, that sometimes, like, the larvae is just as capable as the full-grown adult. You know, like the equivalent, like sometimes it's not always like this. Sometimes your larva is like defenseless and he's just got to live into the adult stage. Other times you have larvae like this who evolve and are actually able to like throw hands throughout their whole life stage.
Diving beetles. Once they pierce their prey, digestive juices are injected through a tube in the mandible, and the liquefied nutrient soup is slapped up. This vicious behavior grants them the very cool nickname of water tiger.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Nifty.
Challenger 5.
Uh-oh. What? We just ran bro over.
Indestructible beetles.
Oh.
This is the diabolical ironclad beetle. Yep, that's its actual name. Ironclad because it's covered in almost indestructible armor. And diabolical because the guy who named it must have stubbed his toe on one.
Oh.
This is diabolical. The beetle can take a crushing force of 39,000.
No, surely he got the diabolical name because he actually just kind of looks diabolical, right? Right?
1,000 times its own body weight. That's like you being stepped on by 500 African elephants. And
That's
yes,
crazy.
they can survive being run over by a car.
Crazy.
The diabolical ironclad beetle has sacrificed flight, and instead, its wing covers are permanently fused together to form an impenetrable exoskeleton. It's made up of multiple layers of tough chitin, interlocked in a jigsaw-like pattern that allows them to flex and absorb high impacts efficiently. Ironclad beetles can also live up to 8 years, which is way longer than the typical lifespan of most beetles. They've basically dumped all of their stat points into defense and HP, the ultimate tank build. So I guess you're not winning this fight, but you're in luck, because this guy ain't winning either. Despite its evil-sounding name, the diabolical ironclad beetle is actually quite docile, and it plays dead whenever it gets threatened.
He plays dead?
Why don't we call it a draw for now? Although, it's probably playing dead right now for another reason.
Of course he plays dead. Why wouldn't you play dead if you can withstand absolutely everything? It's funny to see how beetles evolve. Like, you have these beetles who are very offensive, very attacking, go, go, go. And then you have, like, this passive beetle who's, like, indestructible, and he could have been a menace, right? Like, he could have had some other things, but no, instead of being a menace, he's just indestructible. Uh-oh.
If you're enjoying the video so far, it would help me a lot if you could hit the like button. Thank you.
Yippee!
Goodbye. Did you do it yet? Challenger 6. Dung beetles.
Oh, yes.
You might think that dung beetles are just stinky little bugs covered in poop all day. And you'd be right, but don't underestimate them, because they're actually one of the strongest creatures relative to their size, being able to pull 1,141 times their own body weight. That's like you being able to pull a fully loaded Boeing 737 by yourself. dung
You're
beetles...
saying I can't pull the Boeing 737 by myself? Okay, I would not be able to.
have a super sensitive sense of smell, which is great for finding new piles of poop. Their whole
Yummy.
world revolves around it. They eat poop, live in poop, and raise their stinky little lava babies in poop. Different species show different behaviors. Rollers roll the dung ball to a safe spot to bury it. Tunnelers burrow into the dung piles and live in the tunnels underneath. And dwellers literally just live in the dung pile. Once a roller has captured a ball, they can't be stopped. Literally, the beetle rolls its ball in a straight line no matter the obstacles.
Oh.
If it gets knocked off course, it gets up on its little poop perch and uses the sun, the moon, or light from the Milky Way galaxy to reorient itself.
Oh. Oh. Bye-bye.
Dung beetles usually aren't very aggressive, but they get serious once you threaten to steal their poop ball. It's like a game of King of the Hill, where the
I
beetles...
was about to say, what is threatening to steal their poop ball? But I guess other beetles, right? Another beetle would probably steal it, but I think that's really...
stands on
yeah.
its ball and defends it against the other attackers.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, the
snipe.
dung beetle's love of poop is also their greatest weakness. Their predator, the burrowing owl, purposely collects poop from other animals and places it around their burrows as bait. This
There
attracts
you
them for an
go.
all-you-can-eat beetle buffet.
Damn. Smart.
Challenger 7.
Now who do we have? What the heck is this? Oh, he's big. He a big boy.
Giant beetles.
Big.
The Titan beetle is the biggest beetle in the world. Hey,
Look at
don't look at that
him.
guy. His horn doesn't count. Anyways, Titan beetles can grow up to 6.5 inches long, and their
Damn.
large mandibles produce enough force to snap a pencil in half. Of course, they would have no problem cutting into human flesh too. But what do these guys eat to get this big? Well, actually, nothing. Adult
What?
Titan beetles
They don't-
eat.
They don't eat nothing. Damn. Damn. Oh, damn. This is okay.
In fact, they don't even have digestive enzymes.
Wow.
It's speculated that as larvae, they store enough energy to last their entire adult stage of life. And I say speculate because Titan beetle larvae have never been found in the wild.
What?
And none have been bred in
What?
captivity either. We don't even know what they look like.
What? So we just have giant beetles, and that's all we literally know about them. Wow. I should research, or I should look up, because this video is, I think, a year old. Maybe within the past year, we know more about giant beetles? That's cool to think. Also wild to think that we just have huge beetles spawning and we know nothing about them as well.
Adult Titan beetles only live for a few weeks before they
That
burn
makes
through all
sense.
their energy supplies. So to beat these guys in a fight, all you have to do is evade them until they eventually flop over and die. I won!
Bye-bye.
I won!
Oh, no.
There's actually another contender for biggest beetle if you go by sheer weight.
Sheer
The
weight.
Goliath beetle.
Goliath.
They come in at a whopping 50 grams, and the larva
Look how pretty he is. I know you're like, how the heck can an insect be pretty? Can he not be pretty? Look at him. I like him. I think he's my favorite so far on this list.
is even chunkier, weighing in at 100 grams. Luckily,
Wow.
both of these guys aren't carnivorous, so as long as you're not trying to steal their food or their mates, they're pretty docile, and you can
Perfect.
escape without a fight. Can't say the same about the next one, though. Challenger 8.
Come on down. Oh?
Epomus beetles. To the filthy
Ah.
casual, the Epomus beetle might look like any other regular beetle.
Did Dumb Doggo just call us a filthy casual? Did he just call us a filthy casual?
But you should know better by now. Actually, I'll let you take a break for this one. Thank you, Doggo. I have another victim in mind. You see, throughout beetle history, there's been one slimy predator that has terrorized every bug in existence. A relentless, bottomless bug vacuum. The
Frog.
Oh.
But
Okay,
now
yeah,
we're
yeah.
about to see the predator become prey.
Oh.
This tale of revenge begins as a tiny larva. In the presence of a frog, the Epomus larva acts all weak and helpless, wiggling its antenna around pathetically. Oh no,
Oh
The amphibian
no!
is baited into thinking it's an easy meal, and it lets its guard down and lunges forward.
Oh.
And that's the last mistake this frog will
Oh.
ever make.
Oh.
The lava dodges and immediately counterattacks by sinking its creepy double-hooked mandibles deep into the frog's slimy flesh. There's no
Oh.
chance for the frog to struggle free as the lava slowly slurps up its body fluids, eating it
Ew.
completely. Even if the frog managed to swallow the lava, it's been known to latch on from the inside, usually causing it to be violently regurgitated and free to attack the frog again. Once the lava transforms into an adult, it doesn't even bother with the bait and switch playstyle anymore. Instead, it relentlessly hunts the frog down and latches onto its back. And then, using its mandibles like scissors, it cuts through the muscles and tendons of the hind legs,
Oh.
disabling the frog's ability to jump and escape.
Bro, they got beef. They're like, this frog is killing us way too many times. Time to evolve and take out the frogs ourselves.
Then it
Okay,
can take its sweet
sure.
leisurely time to eat the frog alive.
Sure.
In my opinion, this is the
Cool.
coolest beetle on the list. But get back in there. There's more deadly beetles to come.
There's more. He is actually kind of cool. I will give him the benefit of the doubt. It's kind of crazy to think that that's, you know, he's literally the frog hunter. We got 3 more left.
Challenger 9. Stag beetles. Stag beetles are most notable for their
Ooh.
giant pinchy mandibles, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. The largest of them is the giraffe stag beetle, with long serrated mandibles that are quite scary. When challenged, the first thing a stag beetle does is intimidate its opponent by rearing up onto its forelegs and spreading its jaws. If the opponent doesn't back down, then the fight begins. I think you can probably guess what's gonna happen next, though.
I'm not gonna lie. If someone pulled up to me with pincers that big, I would be slightly intimidated as well. Just saying. Damn.
Just like Hercules beetles, stag beetles aren't carnivorous, so it just leaves you alone after it's broken your back. But it must be quite hard to get the food when you're blocked by these things all the time.
That's true too.
Another stag beetle species known as Darwin's beetle is famous for their treetop battles during mating season. While fighting for a mate, they use their mandibles to hook onto their opponent's wing covers for leverage, to yeet them off the tree.
To yeet them off the tree?
Ow! In reality though, the stag beetle's jaws look a lot worse than they actually are. They can only pinch and not bite, so they're not actually that painful.
So they're kind of just there to yeet others off the tree and then for decoration, for the intimidation factor. That's what I'm hearing. Is that what you guys are hearing? That's what I'm hearing. Big pincers to yeet off tree. Easy. Easy. We got 2
Challenger
more.
10. Imposter beetle.
What? What? What is this? What is this?
Beetles. The antnest beetle looks kinda cute with its fluffy antenna and chunky build, but don't be fooled, they're the most devious critters on this list. It all starts when the antnest beetle comes across a worker ant. Oh, come on! The beetle secretes pheromones, which the ants go crazy for, and at the same time, they also use an acoustic mechanism to imitate the sounds of a queen ant. It smells like an ant, it sounds like an ant, but it sure doesn't look like an ant. Must be an ant. So the beetle waltzes right into the ant nest, where it's treated like royalty. It gets a free spa day as it receives plenty of grooming from the worker ants. It gets free babysitters as the ants feed and care for all the eggs the beetle lays, and it also gets plenty of free meals, as the beetle repays all the ants' kindness by eating them instead.
Hey man, somebody keeps eating all our eggs. Who do you think it is?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I guess
I
there
don't
is
know,
one
man.
thing the ants get out of this deal, though. If a predator or ants from another colony try to invade, the beetle whips out its explosive butt spray to defend the nest.
How many beetles have explosive butt sprays? I'm sorry. How many are there?
Similar to the bombardier beetle.
Our last one.
Challenger 11. Blister beetles. Our final challenger. Why
Look
don't
at
you give him a
him.
pat? He won't bite.
Okay then.
That's a lie. Oh, never mind. It's not a lie. You're just going to get severely injured yourself. Okay, he wasn't lying. He will not bite. Correct.
Looks like you didn't take Nature 101. If it's got bright spots, don't touch it. Blister beetles produce a toxic chemical in their bug blood called cantharidin, which causes painful welts and blisters to form all over your skin upon contact. Many species are aposematic, meaning they have bright colors on them to deter predators. Nice of them to warn you, but not all of them though.
Not all of them. Why you
Blisters
do?
form
Why
after
you
an
do
hour or
this?
so, and in most cases heal in about a week. But if you decide to crush the beetles up into a powder and eat them that way instead, you'd feel severe stomach pain and nausea, followed by blisters in your mouth and throat.
Just thinking about having blisters in my mouth and throat is crazy. I don't think I like that. Do not eat beetle.
Depending on
Correct.
how many you ate, in
Confirmed.
a few hours you might have kidney damage and you could even die from organ failure.
You probably would die from organ failure. That's probably a good chance that you would do that. You have blisters growing within your stomach, multiple areas, esophagus, etc., etc., etc. That's kind of terrifying to think. I'm done. I'm done thinking about that. I don't like that.
How did people find this out? Well, it's said that the ancient Romans and Greeks thought it was an aphrodisiac, because apparently being on the brink of organ failure felt like arousal to them.
There's
In the modern
no
world,
way.
however, blister beetles are huge pests. They eat the leaves off of crops like potatoes and tomatoes, and even worse, they can get into the food source of livestock, like hay for horses. Who do you think would win? One horse or a couple of stinky beetles? Well, ingesting
beetles?
just 4 grams of blister beetles can actually be fatal for the horse.
Yeah,
I guess technically
I'm like, if a beetle can take us out, if a beetle can take us out, they can take whatever they want out when they ingest it. Unless you have like a wild defense towards it, which, you know, a horse wouldn't.
there was no winner in that fight though. Apart from the chemical defenses, blister beetles don't have much going for them. They've got small mandibles that aren't very good at biting, and their exoskeleton is pretty weak. Maybe this is a fight you can actually win. Really?
Oh,
Maybe not.
maybe not
The
indeed.
collection's finally complete.
Let's go.
Now, I know what you're all thinking. What kind of beetle are you, Doggo? Well,
A dog beetle.
How did you know?
Oh. He's being a rhino beetle of some sort, yeah?
See ya next time.
Oh, you just got got. You just got got. You just got got. Bye. Goodbye. I hope you enjoyed that, guys.